traditionally tends to be a little lower, or is there becoming just uniformity of price as it gets ever higher and higher? Buck is on the line. Buck, welcome into Wake Up Missouri.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, do you remember at the start of this that President Trump said the only thing he would accept is unconditional surrender?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that aged well.
And I think
Do you remember when President Trump said he's going to pick the next president of Iran?
he did talk about that.
Yeah, that aged well, too. Do you remember when President Trump said the Strait will kind of just open on its own, kind of like magic almost? Do you remember when he said that?
Don't recall that specific thing, but I think that this has certainly been a fair critique that maybe this wasn't calibrated well as to what would happen to the Strait and oil prices as a result of what happened in the Strait.
Yeah, remember when he said, like a week into this, he said no one could have predicted that they would close the Strait and attack their Gulf neighbors. That's odd because for like 47 years, every Middle Eastern expert was saying that's exactly what will happen if Iran were to get attacked. Mm-hmm. How incompetent is Trump and Hegseth? We have Beavis and Butthead running a war. Kind of sucks.
Yeah, Buck, let me ask you a question. Do you remember when Mayorkas said that the border was secure?
Yeah, he lied and he
Do you remember when the day after the inauguration the border was tight?
I'm a Republican. Why are you giving me this nonsense?
No, what I'm saying is, you know me, I don't defend everything Trump says or does. I think he's fairly reckless with his rhetoric. The question is, you can talk about everything you've said, and it's true, and I think it has diminished the success otherwise that would happen. I'm not giving you nonsense. I'm reminding you that people say things that we scratch our heads about. But do you disagree? Do you think that eliminating
all presidents lie about wars?
Do you think that eliminating Iran? Let's go back to the basics. Is eliminating Iran as Iran's threat, or at least kicking it down the road for 30, 40 years, in terms of regional hegemony, attack on America, potentially attack on Europe, and even ballistic missiles? We now know they had a 4,000-kilometer reach, not 2,000. Is there something worthy in that, and is it worth sacrifice to take them out of the picture of their evil doing?
I lived in Israel for a year. What do you think?
I ask you the question.
Well, I'm surprised you can't answer it based on what I just asked you. Yes, I lived in Israel for a year. I have no love lost for Iran. It's a horrible regime. They need to be taken out. Oh, by the way, we have regime change there, right? Donnie's only said that, I don't know, 10 times.
Well, Buck, you're critical. And by the way, just because someone lives in Israel doesn't mean that they're a sycophant for Israel, because there's a lot of people that are against Netanyahu. A plurality, if not a majority, of people in Israel are not happy with Netanyahu.
I'm not either. I'm not against.
Buck, you're critical. Buck, you're critical, but what's the solution?
Of Iran?
What's the solution? You're critical. What is the solution?
Not have the world's most narcissistic sociopath being our president. That would be a good start.
All right. Hey, good conversation. I think there's a lot of people in conservative politics with a conservative worldview. I assume you have that, right?
Yeah, I'm conservative.
Okay.
And you did what most people do. I know. If you're not in the cult, you must be a libtard, right?
Yeah, Buck, I don't know how much you listen to this program. I take a ton of heat from MAGA hardliners, a ton of heat, some of whom appear in the co-host position here. Jennifer and I often disagree. Sometimes Stephanie and I disagree, because I call Trump out all the time. I want him to be successful, but darn it, he shoots himself in the foot. Now, you want to, Buck, thank you for leading me a segue to my next criticism. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Overnight, yesterday evening, Donald Trump did something that